thanks for clicking on my video and welcome to my channel. I'm Halia, and as you guys saw in the thumbnail, my skin has had a very huge transformation. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about everything I did and how you can get that transformation too. Just to give a brief history about my skin so we can get right into it, I've never had perfect skin and I've always pretty much struggled with acne my whole life, except for, I'll ignore my cat, she will always make her presence known. But as I was saying, I've always struggled with my skin, but there have been times where I struggled a bit less. And those time periods were always very brief. I will say that I have made a huge decision to do Accutane after going to a dermatologist and trying topical tretinoin, topical azelaic acid, trying spirulactone, drinking spearmint tea, taking probiotics, prebiotics, coconut cult. You know, I pretty much did everything a person can do. I started with high protein, I tried high fiber, and while all those things are very crucial for maintaining a really good overall health, sometimes it doesn't translate as well on your skin if you have genetic conditions or genetic factors that make you more acne prone. So because of that, I eventually decided to do Accutane through Clear Health, and this is not sponsored. It just really worked for me and I wanted to share because I know a lot of people out there, they do everything they can, they've bought all the products, done all the things, but their skin still isn't catching up to speed. In 2024, after breaking out a significant amount, I decided to go through an online dermatologist and I started using tretinoin and azelaic acid. And while that combination works for a lot of people, I didn't see the results because I ended up having a lot of peeling around my mouth area, and I feel like it didn't help the new breakouts from forming. So after using those products for about 6 months, I also started to get on spirulactone, and while it was, maybe I didn't wait as long as I should have to see the full results, after about 3 months, I realized it wasn't for me because it just made me have a very consistent period. So I was pretty much bleeding every single day, and I felt like the skincare results weren't significant enough for me to go through that. I'm not saying these actions like topical azelaic acid and topical tretinoin or even spirulactone, I'm not saying those things may not work for you, but for me, it pretty much was a no-go. So I did something called the Ancestry DNA test, and lately Ancestry has updated the results, has brought health factors into the results besides your ethnicities and different locations and origins. And while reading that new Ancestry result, I found that I have genetically low vitamin A. After I found this out, I started doing some research, and then on TikTok I learned about Accutane. And while I was learning about Accutane, I've always heard it was very dramatic for people with super severe acne. And while in some of the photos my acne does look very severe, I have gotten away with, maybe getting one deep cheek pimple and then just suffering with the post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And even though to me it was severe enough where I wouldn't feel comfortable not wearing makeup, it wasn't so severe that I thought I would need Accutane. But despite this, I did some more research and I found out about Clear Health. And like I said, this is not a sponsored video, even though it should be, because I cannot recommend it. I could not recommend Clear Health more. When I started Clear Health, I did blood work, did pregnancy tests, and I signed a vow of abstinence. And even though the abstinence thing may not work for everyone, you can also get on birth control provided through Clear Health or your own doctor. And you pretty much mail in all your information or go to a lab near you and you do everything digitally. So I did Accutane for about 7.5 months and I saw huge results. I genuinely don't think anything else could have made my skin get to the level it's at now. And while I will share some products that I use right now to maintain my results and what I used during my Accutane process, I know for a fact that if I did use all these products on their own without the Accutane, I don't think I would have gotten these results. So just keep that in mind as I share my products later on. I wanted to talk a little bit about the process of being on Accutane and some of the side effects I had. So when I was on Accutane, my skin was pretty much the same. It was just drier, and my lips did get very dry, and I also dealt with a lot of postnasal drip from my nose being dry. Besides that, I did not have any other side effects. And Accutane is a serious medication, and you do need it prescribed. And every person is different. Some people will see more intense side effects, but for me personally, I pretty much saw little to no side effects. And the side effects that I did see were worth the result, which is clear skin that I don't have to worry about at all. Another small side effect that isn't a full side effect but is something to consider is that your skin is very sensitive to the sun during this time. So because of that, I'm a person that, despite having deep brown skin, I do freckle very easily. And during the process of Accutane, I got a lot of freckles. And prior to Accutane, I had freckles as well. And I can't say for certain that the freckles came because of the sun exposure during Accutane, because I had them prior. But if freckling is an issue for you, be very mindful about your sun exposure during Accutane. So that's pretty much it with the Accutane thing. Like, it was very simple, very easy. Clear Health made it super easy, and the results I got from Accutane were indescribable. I never thought I could love my skin so much. My texture, glow, the lack of new breakouts, it's incomparable to anything I've ever experienced in life. Even during the time periods where I had better skin than I usually did, this still is like nothing in comparison to what I used to experience. So I think I always recommend people to look into it if it works for them. If not, that's totally fine. But everyone is different. But people ask me consistently, what do you do for your skin? How did you get your skin so clear? How do I get that glow? And I feel uncomfortable sharing like all the products that I use, because I do use a bit of some pricier products, and I also use some lower end products as well. But I feel uncomfortable sharing with people what skincare products I use, because I know for a fact these products are only maintaining a result that the Accutane created. Something else I want to share is a little bit on how Accutane truly works. So Accutane or isotretinoin is a form of synthetic high-dose vitamin A. So Accutane works by significantly shrinking and reducing your oil glands, which also reduces inflammation on your skin and the bacterial overload that the bacteria feed off the oil. So by shrinking those oil glands, oftentimes permanently, you pretty much totally reduce your chances of acne. Some people still will break out again after using Accutane, but for me, I've been off for over 4 to 5 months and I haven't had any breakouts to reoccur. So by permanently shrinking those oil glands, most people will have a permanent result. Oftentimes, the people that did not have a permanent result, when they do a second round of Accutane, those results will be permanent after that. So it just depends on the individual, but for most people, Accutane is a permanent skincare solution. Another huge benefit of Accutane is that while we use skincare products on our face, we oftentimes don't use it on our chest, we don't use it on our back. And it really helps with that because it's doing all that work internally. I also suffered with a little bit of back acne and shoulder as well as chest. And even though it got better as I got older, the Accutane pretty much cleared everything up. During the first 1 to 2 months of Accutane, I didn't see a huge result on my face and I still was breaking out. But at that 2.5, 3 month mark, my chest, the oil glands had completely shrunk and it looked like a mirror basically. Like, I can post a photo of like how my chest was looking, and it was so clear. And on my TikTok, people were constantly asking me, what body oil is that? What are you using on your chest? Like, and the thing is, I was using nothing. Like, fresh out the shower, even a little dry and crusty, my chest was shiny. Like, literally, it was like a mirror. And Accutane did that. If I even put a drop of lotion on, it looked like I used a blurring oil or powder. It was honestly insane. And I have maintained a bit of that on my chest, but during the Accutane process, especially around 3-4 months, it was absolutely insane. So yeah, it was honestly amazing, and my back hasn't broken out since then either. So you really have to think about what Accutane can do for you. If you're an oily person, if people in your family in general suffer from acne and acne scarring, it can make a huge difference, because I know for me, my acne was highly, highly genetic. Like, a lot of people on my mom's side, my siblings, they have all dealt with acne. So I realized at that point there was really nothing I don't want to have a negative mindset, but I realized a lot of the natural solutions just wouldn't work for me. And while, as I discussed, my acne wasn't super severe at all times, I wanted the experience of having perfect skin. And this was what gave me that experience. As I discussed, Accutane made a huge difference for my skin, and I don't think that my products played the biggest role in getting my skin to where it's at today. But I did want to share a little bit of what I used during Accutane and how I maintain my skin now. So during the Accutane process, your skin will be very dry and your barrier will be pretty weak. So you need to use gentle products that are moisturizing and hydrating and will not strip the barrier of your skin even further. Something that I really suffered with my skin was post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Even if I picked a bump, and if I didn't pick a bump, I still usually got a very, very dark acne scar no matter what I did. As I stated earlier, I am pretty sensitive to sun and pretty sensitive to pigmentation. So it didn't matter if I wore sunscreen, picked my pimple, didn't pick my pimple. If I got a pimple, I got a mark. And that it was really discouraging, because no matter what, even if I, was able to stop my breakouts, I was still dealing with some sort of hyperpigmentation from previous acne. So I never felt fully comfortable to just have my bare face out. And that's something that Accutane really gave me. After being on Accutane, even if I got a small pimple, I didn't get a scar afterward. Even now, my skin has had such a break from breaking out, I have no acne scars. And while Accutane does not claim to dealing with PIH, it made a huge difference for me in my post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So if that's something that you struggle with due to acne marks, Accutane can really, really help. I can get into some of the products that I use during Accutane and some stuff that I use afterwards. Okay, I'm going to start with some of the cheaper items. So I use La Roche-Posay, the Gentle Foaming Cleansing Oil. This is very hydrating and calming, and I use this sometimes as well, even now, especially if I want to get rid of makeup. The only type of breakouts that I get now after being on Accutane are breakouts where I had on like a very thick and inclusive sunscreen and I didn't double cleanse after using it. So I'll usually use something like this first, or if I feel like if I didn't wear a sunscreen, maybe I'll just use this on its own. Here's another moisturizer that I use. It's called the Triple Repair Moisturizing Cream, and this was really helpful during my Accutane journey. But I didn't always use this, but I do recommend this. With Accutane, you don't have to do much. You can find a very cheap, hydrating, moisturizing drugstore cream, like Vanny Cream, the hydrating cream from Cetaphil, or even just a nice slather of Aquaphor to lock in whatever moisture you've maintained. And all those products work really well, and I recommend just doing whatever your dermatologist or whoever, or if you go through Clear Health, whatever they recommend for you. I am a bit of a skincare fanatic. I love going to Sephora and buying skincare. I love medical grade products, so I'm going to get into a little bit of what products I chose to use on my journey. But of course, consult your dermatologist to see if these products are safe for you to use if you move forward with your Accutane journey. So this is pretty much empty because I am obsessed with using it, but this is the Tatcha Rice Wash. This face wash is so moisturizing. Every time I'm done using it, my face feels very soft and very supple. And like I said, it's empty. I need to go buy another one after this, to be honest with you. It was very, very moisturizing, and I just loved how soft and supple my face felt afterward. I highly, highly recommend this if you just have naturally dry skin, or if you're on Accutane and you want to maybe spend a little bit more or use a different product than whatever drugstore materials your derm may recommend. But of course, use it, see how your skin reacts if you're on Accutane or if not, and just test it out and see if it's safe for you to use. But for me, on my journey, this was really helpful. Okay, while being on Accutane, some of the pricier things that I used are the Rhode moisturizing sets. So during Accutane, the Rhode glazing milk was my holy, 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 holy grail. Even now, I use this product pretty much every day on my face, décolleté, and chest. It's absolutely super moisturizing and it's very thin. So sometimes on my very dry days after washing my face, I would use a bit of the Rhode glazing milk and lock it in with some Aquaphor or some of the barrier butter from Rhode. Some days this was too thick for me, even in the beginning. In the beginning of my Accutane journey, you hear moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. And before the medication had a chance to really target my oil production, when I used this, I noticed I would wake up with like a oil slick around my nose and chin area. So just be a little cautious, but if you are on the dry side, especially while you're on Accutane or in general, I really recommend using the Rhode glazing milk and the barrier butter, because it'll really lock in that moisture. Of course, what I used for the most part was a slather of Aquaphor, especially around my mouth and my lips. But on the days where I want to feel a little more luxe and I didn't want to use the Aquaphor, this was a really good replacement. Right now I'm using a prescription strength 15% azelaic acid. This has been really helpful for maintaining my skin while being off Accutane. I think it contributes to the glow that I have and reducing any bacterial load that comes and forms into acne later on. I love what azelaic acid does for my skin. I feel like this has made absolutely a huge difference. So what azelaic acid does, it kills acne-causing bacteria, it helps keep your pores clear, and it over time reduces post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. I'm not gonna lie, I did use this once a week on Accutane. I don't know if most doctors or dermatologists would recommend that, but that's something that I did. Of course, consult with your dermatologist. Your barrier is already going to be super thin, and you may not want to put anything on your face, including this azelaic acid. But this is something that I did, and right now I use this pretty much. I go through phases where I use it once a week, and I go through phases where I use it every other day. But I know for me, azelaic acid, I see the biggest difference in my skin. I love how it makes my skin look, and I feel like it very, very largely contributes to the glow and the fading of the hyperpigmentation that I had. So talk to your dermatologist about azelaic acid 15%. I think it makes the biggest difference for your skincare journey, and I wish I started using it much sooner. Okay, now I'm ready to talk about some of the products I'm using right now. So right now, the things that I've kept in my routine is the Rhode glazing milk. I think it's amazing. Like if you use a topical tretinoin or even an azelaic acid or anything that's very strong, this is a great product to use for the sandwich method. I think it provides a nice layer of moisture, and then you can add something a little stronger on top or with it. So I really recommend this to use, like I said, with another product or even by itself. As I just said, I'm still using my azelaic acid pretty frequently, at least once every week, just to maintain my results. So that's something I've kept in my routine. So another thing that is very, very crucial while you're on Accutane, or even if you're not on Accutane, no matter what you do, you need to be using a sunscreen. Sunscreen is absolutely crucial for protecting your face from the sun and protecting it from any UV damage. UV damage will age you. I'm sorry, I know people love the sun. I love the sun too. It's like a couple years ago, I used to get 20,000 steps a day, pretty much every day. and a large portion of those steps were outside. And sunscreen is absolutely crucial, and I would even reapply during my walks. So sunscreen, you need it. The one that I use, you have to get it from a med spa or some type of dermatologist's office, and that is the Revision Skincare IntelliShade Clear Sunscreen. This is the best sunscreen. I've never had any breakouts from it. Even before Accutane, I never broke out from this. And I'm very prone to sunscreen breakouts because sometimes it can create a very thick layer over your skin. So this sunscreen I absolutely do recommend. It makes the biggest difference in your skin, and it kind of acts as a moisturizer as well. It's also very, very beautiful underneath makeup, so it's just the perfect everyday product. Like, I couldn't recommend a sunscreen more. For a dupe for that sunscreen that also never broke me out or never caused me any issues, that would be the Mela B3 UV sunscreen, and this one is from La Roche-Posay. So this sunscreen is like, it has some dark spot correcting technology in it. It's called Melasil or Melasil, and also it has 5% niacinamide. This looks also really beautiful under your makeup, and even by itself it gives you a beautiful glow. It's super beautiful, and I use this a lot. It's also pretty safe if you break out on a regular basis, and this is something that I used even before Accutane that didn't cause any new breakouts. The only difference is the IntelliShade is broad spectrum SPF 50, and this is only 30. So just know you're getting a little bit less UV protection while using this product, but it is very good and I couldn't recommend it more, and sometimes I still use it depending on how I feel that day. Okay, so now I want to go into some of the Luxe skincare products that I use, and like I said, I've given like some cheaper alternatives to this, like the La Roche-Posay oil cleansing wash, and you can also use any hydrating wash that you find within your budget. But the Chanel La Mousse is absolutely amazing. It is so hydrating, and if I had to do my Accutane journey all over again, I would have splurged and got this product and used it all throughout my journey. It's super gentle, very moisturizing, and you don't feel that stripped feeling after using it. I think it's such a luxe, rich, beautiful moisturizer, and I just love the glow and the calmness that I feel after using this. It kind of reminds me of the rice wash from Tatcha, but this one is a bit more hydrating. And okay, my battery just died, so weird. But anyway, as I was saying, the La Mousse from Chanel is super beautiful if you want a little bit more of a luxe, expensive cream to use on your Accutane journey, or if you're really dry and you need that moisture. Okay, so moving along to my way more expensive products that I'm also using on a regular basis. And before I share these, I also want to state, you don't need these products to get clear skin. These products are not what cleared my skin, but I do love them, and they have a great place within my routine, and they're helping me maintain results that I got from Accutane. They are not creating results, they're just helping to maintain the results. So please don't feel the pressure or the need to buy these products so that you can have clear skin. That's just some housekeeping moving forward. Okay, so these are two lotion P50s from By Logique Recherche, and I use the lotion P50 when I feel like I need a little bit more exfoliation and I just want to really clean out my pores and have a little bit of an acid to like combat any hyperpigmentation or any type of issues my skin may be having. Like I said, my skin is pretty much clear after being on Accutane. I don't really need this product. I just like using it once a week or sometimes even less. The other lotion P50 is something that I do feel like I need a bit more because, as I've stated, I freckle very easily and I'm also prone to hyperpigmentation. I don't get the post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation as much because I just don't break out anymore. But I am a little nervous about the amount of freckling I do have from genetic factors, as well as maybe the Accutane played a role. I'm not sure, but I know genetically I am prone to freckling. So and hyperpigmentation in general. So right now I'm using the Lotion P50 Pigment 400. This helps like correct any pigmentation, freckling, UV, hyperpigmentation, and all the things. Of course, you need to use sunscreen with this product, and I do. So this is something else that I'm using to help maintain an even complexion. To continue with the Pigment 400 line, I also use the Pigment 400 serum as well as the Cream Pigment 400. These products are all in the Biologique or Shares Pigment 400 line, obviously, and they do help with pigmentation. I can report back if I see some results from these, like over the next couple, months, but so far they make my skin feel absolutely perfect and great. My texture looks amazing after using them, and hopefully over time it does fade a little bit of the hyperpigmentation or freckling that I've gotten over the past couple years. Another brand that I would love to highlight while I'm sitting here is Rejuren. So Rejuren is made using salmon sperm DNA, which is PDRN, and these products have a small percentage of that PDRN infused within each product on their line. I don't have the face wash with me to show you because I absolutely used it up already, and I've just been using some of my other face washes, but it's something that I'm absolutely going to repurchase. The Rejuren face wash is so hydrating, so moisturizing, very smooth, and it also gives a beautiful, beautiful glow. And I love that it's so convenient and to buy. It is on Amazon with the official Rejuren store, so you know you're getting a real product. It is my favorite Korean skincare brand, and I honestly couldn't recommend it more. I have the Rejuren Moisturizing Cream, and it has 5% PDRN. Okay, my camera died, but as I was just saying, the Rejuren face cream is really nice, and it has 5% PDRN, and it's just really amazing. It is not on the same level as injected PDRN, but I noticed all the products are very moisturizing, very hydrating. They're smooth, and they give you a glowy glass skin finish like a lot of Korean skincare brands do. Another product I like from them is the Refreshing Emulsion, and this one is 0.2% CPDRN. And I use this maybe once or twice a week depending on the week. Sometimes I skip it, other times when I remember it, I use it. It's a really good product. But the holy grail from Rejuren, I think, is the face wash. The face wash is absolutely amazing, and the moisturizer is so light and hydrating. It's absolutely amazing. So I would really recommend that brand. So thank you for watching, and I just wanted to sum everything up by saying I know Accutane is not for everyone, but if you're a person that has struggled with your skin for years, you feel like you eat well, you try your best, you even get microneedling treatments, lasers, chemical peels, as I did, and you feel like you're still not getting that perfect glass skin result, it may require you to take the extra step. I know for me, I get so many questions about my skin, especially in person. And even just now when my camera died, I ran errands and I went to World Market. And the cashier at World Market asked me what do I do to get glowy and reflective skin. And people ask me this all the time, and I feel so uncomfortable to, list out all these products, because while these products are amazing and some of them are medical grade and, some do have like really good actives, I know for a fact that my skin wouldn't be where it was without Accutane. All of these products are just supporting and maintaining what the Accutane did. So I told him, as I tell everyone else, hey, I do Accutane, but maybe that day, like today, I used the Rogue Glazing Milk as well as the Revision Skincare IntelliShade, and while that does give me a nice glow and a hydrated look, it of course would not be what it is without the Accutane. So I know everyone is not going to want to get on Accutane, but if you talk to your dermatologist and it's safe and right for you, or you go through Clear Health and it's safe and good for you, or even if you want to do a low dose or a Hollywood dose and your doctor says that's okay for you, I would highly highly recommend it, because if you are genetically predisposed to acne, it's not your fault. A lot of people are unaware of the fact that some people are just genetically predisposed to lower cell skin turnover, lower vitamin A, and are at increased risk for hyperpigmentation and inflammation of the skin. I know for a fact that I was one of those people, and the only choice I had was to accept it or to take a more serious or drastic action. For me, taking that more serious and drastic action was 100% worth it, and I have no regrets. And say in the future my Accutane results, start to fade away, I'm 100% okay doing another round of Accutane. So thanks for watching my video. Lizzie is here meowing because she's ready for dinner. So if you guys have any questions about my skincare routine and what I currently use, or my Accutane journey, please feel free to comment below and let me know. I am wishing all of you the same level of results, and I hope it works out, because I know what it's like to struggle with your skin while trying every single product, every routine, going to the med spa, and still not getting those long-lasting results. So if it works for you, congratulations. Please let me know if it ends up working. Thank you. Bye-bye.